everyone. Good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. Technology is just technology in today. But good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We know that there are so many other things you could be doing right now, so we do not take it lightly that you have decided to share space with us today. I'm Monica Lewis, and I'm honored to facilitate our final webinar of this series. It's an important conversation on behalf of the National Center for Family and Parent Leadership. The National Center exists to elevate and support parents and families in early childhood systems. We believe that families are not just stakeholders in the work, they are leaders, experts, and essential partners in creating systems that truly serve children and communities. You can learn more about our work and access resources, including past webinars, at parentleadership.org. While this is our last of this series, we will be back in the fall with more. We're just going to take a summer break. And please quickly put in the chat if you guys can hear me because the back is not hearing me or a heart or something. Thank you guys. Okay. As we close this year of learning together, it is about lifting up what's working across the country. Communities are making real progress when parent leadership is centered not just in theory, but in practice. This session is both a celebration and a blueprint. We'll hear real stories of impact and identify what the successes have in common, so you can take those ideas back to your own communities. This year, we've moved from asking what parent leadership is to moving to what parent leadership does. Today is about seeing those results clearly. Throughout today's conversation, we are focusing on a few key things. First, we want to identify common pattern elements across successful parent leadership efforts and stories. Second, we will hear concrete examples of how systems change that have been directly driven by family voice so we can see what it looks like in practice when parent leadership is truly centered. Third, we'll take time to reflect on how these strategies apply in your own local context, what translates, what needs to be adapted, and what is already happening in your own communities. And finally, the goal is to leave you with actionable ideas, practical strategies you can strengthen, replicate, or implement in your own region. This session, of course, will be recorded and made available for later viewing. Please, please, please feel free to use the Q&A button that's at the bottom of your screen to leave us questions throughout our session. And just to start us out, as we know, success is not accidental. It leaves clues. I invite you to listen deeply and uncover conditions that made success possible, roles parents that played in driving change, and strategies that can be adapted in other communities. Today, we are joined by two parent leaders and experts in their field. In a moment, I will introduce them, but first, I want to share a bright spot from New Jersey that helps set the stage. I also love to know where you guys are joining us from, so if you can, please drop your name in the chat and in a few words, share a bright spot of what you've seen in your work this year. Pausing. Can we get the slides up, please? All right. Recently, during a session that I held for the National Center, we were able to listen to two parent leaders, and they talked about their story of rebuilding trust when harm is done by the system. I was joined by Dana Dennis and Dr. Winifred Smith Jenkins, who are both mothers in the New Jersey area. Dana Dennis is a mother, a senior organizer, a community organizer, and a parent advocate. And Dr. Winifred Smith Jones is a mother, former childcare director, and the director of early childhood policy and advocacy. These women gave me so many great examples, but the one I want to share with you guys is just about how what resources we have currently we can use in a way that will support parents going forward. In New Jersey, a child care provider shared something small that created a major shift. She gave a parent guidance on how to prepare for an upcoming IEP meeting, and that would later be what she needed to help keep her there. She also informed her that she may be told that she has to leave that center and that she didn't have to, and gave her what she needed to move forward. Without that support, The parent would have walked in unprepared and overwhelmed. Instead, Dana shared that she walked in ready and not only successfully advocated for her child, but she was so empowered that she later helped a she later developed and launched a thriving special needs parent coalition that is doing amazing work in the state of New Jersey that is continuing to this day. So continue to share some bright spots from your state, if you can, in the chat for us. So moving forward to our panelists. Keisha Harris is the co-founder, president, and board member of Illinois Families for Early Intervention Incorporated. She was appointed by Governor Pritzker to both the Illinois Interagency Council on Early Intervention and the Transition Advisory Committee for the new Illinois Department of Early Childhood. She is the mother of 7-year-old Roman, whose early intervention journey fuels her advocacy and leadership in early childhood systems. Keisha, welcome. Excited to have you share your story. Our second panelist is Devin D. Coleman, an author, speaker, and consultant focused on transforming tragedy into triumph. He is a passionate champion for fathers and family leadership, serving in multiple advisory and leadership roles, including Florida's Association of Healthy Start Coalitions, the American Bar Association Center on Children and the Law, and the Florida State University's Institute of Child Welfare. Devin equips fathers with the tools to unlock their potential and achieve greatness and uses the power of narrative to drive leadership, education, and social change. We are in for a treat. Welcome, Devin.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. So let's get started. Keisha, we will start from you, then hear from Devin. Can you share a breakthrough or a bright spot where parent leadership made a measurable difference in the work that you're doing?
Am I unmuted? I'm sorry.
Yes, you
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, one breakthrough that stands out from my work with Illinois Families for Early Intervention, Inc., was helping elevate parent voices from being consulted to truly helping shape conversations around early intervention access, family support, and system improvement. Through parent-led outreach, relationship building, and advocacy efforts, we were able to engage families who had previously felt disconnected from the early intervention system, especially families who were overwhelmed, underinformed, or unsure how to navigate services for their children. Parents began sharing real-time barriers they were experiencing, including communication gaps, service delays, and difficulty understanding their rights and options. A major bright spot was seeing parent leaders move into active leadership and advisory roles where their lived experience directly informed discussions with professionals, stakeholders, and statewide partners. That shift created stronger collaboration, increased family participation in meetings and initiatives, and helped build more trust between families and the system designed to support them. What made the difference measurable was not just increased engagement, but the quality of engagement. Families who once felt isolated became connected to resources, advocacy opportunities, and peer support networks. Parents who initially joined seeking help later became advocates, helping other families navigate early intervention more confidently. Seeing families transition from feeling unheard to becoming empowered leaders in their communities has been one of the clearest examples of the impact parent leaders can have.
I love that. And I love to hear more about what role parents or family leaders play in making this success happen. Devin, you go ahead and share the same thing. What else bright spot you have?
So, man, this is a great question. I think seeing the parent voice develop in a way that number one builds confidence in the parent and adds value to the spaces they're in. I give a clear example. We had two parent leaders create a special needs toolkit that was accepted and presented at the annual Family Cafe, which is touted as the largest statewide cross disability event in the nation. Um, as a result, that kickstarted a creativity run amongst our parent leaders, and we have one parent leader working on the ACEs toolkit. Man, I have a father that is launching a book. It'll be available in June, entitled Dad on the Pitch. And all of that stems from issues that that individual parent experienced in life, right? And them wanting to share it in a way that helps other parents and organizations and individuals that seeking to help those parents. Similar to what Keisha said, man, the journey has been amazing because I'm working with a wide range of parents that began with frazzled, like, where do I start? Where do I go? To having a PhD, a couple having master's degrees, and now some being authors. And that's not really saying that they're more valuable than they were when they started, right?
Right.
But it's showing how that community pulled things out of them that some of them may or may not have known they had and gave them the courage to pursue it.
Absolutely. Pivoting for a second, it makes me go back to Keisha's story. And Keisha, can you just give us a highlight of what the Illinois Families for Early Intervention and how it even started? Just a little bit of the background. We didn't do the background.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Oh
Mhm.
my goodness. Oh, I love this question. So we started, we initially start early's, oh my gosh, I don't want to get the titles wrong, but start early's, Karen Berman. She was their, I don't know if she is their VP of policy, I
Mhm.
believe. And Zareen Kamal, who is she's um something policy as well, right?
Right.
And so I don't want to get it wrong because this is so important to our, beginning. They came together and they thought of like a group of parent leaders, that they thought could come together and, do something about spreading, more awareness about early intervention. And so in the end, it was about six of us that kind of like, you know, essentially shook down to the bottom, essentially, right? If
Mhm.
that makes any sense. And the six of us um became very serious about the work. And, you know, uh Karen Berman and Zareen Kamal, they were helping us like, through um, you know, getting a petition started, that got a lot of signatures about getting about I think that petition it was we were asking for 60 million more dollars for early intervention. Obviously, we needed like 100, and eventually there was a Afton report that said we need 168 million dollars, for for early intervention. But
Mhm.
that first petition, I think we were asking for 60 million dollars. Of course, we were flat funded by Governor Pritzker, and that was pretty sad, and that just really lit a fire under the rest of us. And us six, we decided. But I'm gonna have to give Karen Artley Heath her props. She's mother of triplets with cerebral
Mhm.
palsy. Um, she's amazing. She was the one that really she was putting those little things in my ears. She was like, "We need to organize. We need to organize. We need to organize." She kept saying she's the one that gave me the idea to buy this nonprofit book. And I forget the lady who wrote it. It's this black woman who wrote it. She's on Instagram. I feel so bad that I can't remember all the things. But
It's fine.
anyway, she put the bug in my ear about like like us organizing.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, like like let's do it. So I live like 10 minutes away from Springfield where like the Secretary of State's office is and the all the things. The Department of Revenue is secretary, the Department of
Mhm.
Revenue is. So I was like, I mean, I could do all the things, but we thought we needed a lawyer to become a 501c3. Girl, I did everything myself. I did all the reading about I was nervous, I was scared, but I ended up going to Secretary of State. We ended up I ended up, having we did digital signings, you know, we became a nonprofit on June 9th of last year. And then just a couple months later, I did all the reading for us to become a 501(c)(3). We pulled together, I think it was like $275 to become a 501(c)(3). And I did the application and it was accepted and we became a 501(c)(3), which was like nuts because we thought we needed a lawyer, but we did it ourselves. And then it got real. Like it got really real
Hmm.
because we were a legitimate organization and we had to like at this point get bylaws. And it took us a few months to get like bylaws because we were like, oh no, because we thought it would take a year for us to get our
Yeah.
501(c)(3), but it only took 2 months. um but the group of women, it's myself, vice president is Erica Reffitt, um uh um secretary is Karen Artley Heath, who I was mentioning. Treasurer is Brittany Monreal. Outreach director is Stephanie Jimenez. And Taliba Moore is our last co-founder. She was our advocacy director, but if you if anyone on here knows who Taliba Moore is, she works with Kofi. She just got a promotion. She's doing all the things in Chicago. She's been with Kofi for 10 years. So now she's only an acting co-founder
Hmm.
and just a powerhouse. So us six, we are still going strong. And we are doing EI family circles virtually. We're doing a lot. We're about to start
Yeah.
a legislative virtual program called Let's Talk Springfield, where we're going to be interviewing legislators every month, every single month, starting in the fall. We are cooking with grease. We have our family vanguard. We had a meeting just Tuesday night. It's amazing. Oh, Carrie Glaspie says she's with Kofi also. So then you must know Taliba. She's the powerhouse. So
Yeah.
Taliba Moore. Anyway, so it's just been a wonderful ride. Oh, hey Magda. Magda
Mhm.
is in Illinois Families for Early Intervention. She's in our Family Vanguard. Magda is an EI parent turned developmental therapist. She is a fierce advocate for EI. Anyway, but we are just blessed, and
Hmm.
we do what we can. We're parents, we're doing what we can. We would love more male, Devin. You know what I mean? Devin, are you in Illinois?
He's in Jacksonville.
No, but I traveled.
Oh,
I
He
traveled. Don't worry. I
travels.
traveled.
okay,
He
all
travels.
right. We'll listen. All
Yes.
right.
I traveled.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we just started an IFEI Fathers Forward group, So yes, and we've gotten one father so far, but we're trying to recruit. But anyway, I'm sorry for taking so much
No.
time. No,
Okay.
sorry.
No, but I thank you for the ground setting of what it is. And I paused to have you do the intro to what Illinois Families for Early Intervention is because of just what Devin was saying. This spark that comes through parent leaders is amazing. So this is six parent leaders who is leading this work. Same similar to Devin just saying that parents coming out and writing books and leading other work that you can spark something that then pushes this work so much further.
Yeah.
So, either of you, please chime in and feel how you share how did parents actually influence decisions and not just participate? Either one. Debbie, you want to go?
So yeah. Um, and I use the examples I talked about earlier. Man, our support organization like really supported us. Our parents, we did the creative stuff, did the research, practiced the presentation, created the presentation, did outreach. What our supporting organization did was said, we believe in you enough to do it. And then in terms of protection, they looked at it to make sure, that second and third set of eyes to make sure everything was legitimate and legal. so it wouldn't be any adverse repercussions about anything that was going out front facing. Also in terms of some of the trainings or subject matter topics that we receive, it's always input. Like, what do you need? Um, what are you thinking? What do you care about? Those sorts of things. And how can we move you forward with that? Even when some of our parents wanted to develop more acumen in policy, we
Mhm.
had an opportunity to get political training, organizing training, and those sorts of things.
I love that. Actual like supports and things that make the success possible and make it really be able to move forward. These stories highlight what's possible when there's mutual trust and emphasis on relationship building, but also the importance of policy shifts, recognizing that we need to do something different to experience different outcomes and results. Also of importance is the need for compensation. Our funding and financial decisions show where our value lies. Keisha, can you share how you were able to build trust with families and sustain engagement over time?
Well, oh, am I on mute?
No, you're good.
Okay, okay. Um, I think that all right. So several key conditions will make this possible, right? It's especially strong relationships, right? Trust building, especially strong relationships, trust building, and consistent support for parent leadership development. One of the biggest factors was creating spaces where families felt genuinely heard, respected, and valued. Parents are more willing to engage and lead when they knew their lived experience would be taken seriously and not dismissed. When you build trust over time, helped families move from hesitation to active participation and leadership. Coaching, encouragement, and peer support also played an important role. Many parents already had the passion and insight to lead, but they benefited from guidance on navigating systems, understanding advocacy opportunities, speaking in leadership spaces, and connecting their experiences to broader community change. Another support was relationship building across families, providers, organizations, and stakeholders. Those partnerships created opportunities for collaboration instead of families feeling like they were working alone or against the system. Open communication and ongoing engagement helped strengthen those connections over time. Accessibility and flexibility also mattered, meeting families where they were emotionally, culturally, and practically helped increase participation, providing welcoming environments, clear communication, and opportunities for parents to contribute in meaningful ways made leadership more attainable and sustainable. Ultimately, the success and trust was made possible because parents were not viewed as an afterthought. They were supported as leaders, trusted as experts through lived experience, and given meaningful opportunities to influence change.
Thank you. Devin, can you share as well? Some ideas where you were able to see and build trust with families and sustain the engagement over time.
Yeah, so I think what helped me build trust was authenticity.
Hmm.
Um, the parents I worked with could tell I was authentic, but also, um, I received that opportunity because the organization knew that I was authentic as well. Meaning, I understand what it's like to be a parent in these spaces, but I also have some knowledge of what it takes to run the business and be in a nonprofit space because I've been in a nonprofit space and ran a business and figured out a way to marry the two to make it a win-win, right? Um, Being honest with the parents, even sharing with them how decisions are made, because a lot of times, if you don't know, parents will be giving feedback and don't understand all the considerations the organization has to think about, and vice versa. Um, Also, what I do though is I work with organizations that I know really care about families and parents. Now, that doesn't mean they can do everything, but when I see that their staff like really cares, I can really go hard in terms of building a relationship gap between that organization and the community members.
Love that. Love it.
Yes.
Starting with you this time, Devin. If you had to name one or two key strategies that made the biggest difference, what would they be?
And engaging parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell you two real quick. So one key strategy, we had the autonomy to change the scheduling based on the needs of the parents.
Mm.
So even to this day, we run a monthly parent leadership meeting, and this relationship is with the Florida Association of Healthy Start Coalitions. And when we saw a drop off in parent engagement during the noon meeting, I had the autonomy to just call the parents and see what was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them wanted to still be engaged, but the schedule changed. So I was like, all right, let's do a meeting in the evening. And it was like, go ahead. So we did a meeting in the evening and a meeting at noon. But this is the key thing that I had to um bring to the top of mind with the parents. I was like, hey, we voted on this noon time. And if the time don't work, we can vote on another time because we
Yes.
really are being heard in this space. We really do have a voice in this space. So it was a measure of letting the parents know now that you're here, like say something. You don't have to
That's
be a
it.
fly on the wall,
No.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that helped a lot with the engagement. Another thing though is you know how people say life be lifing? Well,
Hmm.
life when you alive, right? And
Yes.
understanding that every so often, so basically like once a month, I'll reach out to the parents and have a check-in. Like, how you doing? What's going on?
Mm.
Is there any way that we could support you? Seriously, and I mean it for real. So if we can't support you in terms of the organization, how can the network of other parents support you? That sort of thing. And I think that goes a long way in building trust and relationship with those parents.
I
I
love that.
love that.
I love
Keisha,
that.
me too. Keisha, do you have one or two key strategies that made a big difference?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think they're, I mean, I think I'm probably gonna give like a longer version of that basically, but relationship centered engagement, basically the same thing, focused on, building authentic relationships with the families before asking them to participate in leadership or advocacy efforts, consistent communication, active listening, and creating welcoming spaces helped families feel valued, respected, and connected. That trust became the foundation for long-term engagement and leadership development. A second major strategy was elevating lived experience as expertise, because that is an expertise for us, right? For Illinois Families for Early Intervention, you have some parents who their background is marketing. Their background, we have one parent, she was a stockbroker in her past life, but she literally is an expert in early intervention now. Like,
Mhm.
you name it, she knows all about early intervention, okay? So, you know, elevating lived experience as expertise is real. Parents, were not treated as passive participants. They were recognized as leaders whose real world experience could shape solutions, improve communication, and influence systems change, giving families meaningful opportunities to contribute ideas, mentor others, and participate in decision making created stronger ownership. Very important word. Deeper engagement and more community driven impact.
I love that. It just similar to the most know my background. I went to school for finance. I was becoming a financial advisor, have my certifications and all of the things, but parent leadership and early intervention is just where life took me.
Yes,
And now that is my expertise, even though that's not what my degrees are in. My
right,
expertise is in early intervention, it's in parent engagement, it's in all of the things that, yes, I have the cool letters behind my name. I will
right.
be a doctor by the end of the year, but that's not where my expertise lies. My expertise lies in the work that I am doing now. And it came from a
Yes,
shift in just in becoming a mom to a kiddo with superpowers.
that's it. That's
So,
it.
Devin, I would love for you to share what or who benefited the most from the work that you're doing currently, and how did you ensure equity was centered?
Oh, that's a great question. Who benefits the most from the
Hmm.
work that I'm doing?
Hmm.
The communities we serve.
I
And the
love
reason why I say that the communities we serve benefit most from the work that we're doing is because when we empower families and give families the tools they need to succeed, our communities are better, our schools are better, and our workplaces are better because those parents touch the workplace, they serve the customers, the clients. Those students are in schools, they're interacting with everybody else in those schools. But also, I think with the success that we're having, man, I think that empowers the workers as well. I mean, because when you're actually serving parents and you want to see parents progress, and you actually see that progression, that tends to help when you feel like you burned out or you wondering if it's value in the job that you're doing. So I think when we do it right, it benefits everybody.
absolutely. Keisha, same question.
Oh, I love this question. The families who benefited most were those who are often least connected to systems of support.
Hmm.
Caregivers navigating early intervention for the first time, families experiencing language, cultural, or access barriers, and those who previously felt isolated or unsure of how to advocate for their children. These families gain not only information and resources, but also confidence, connection, and a sense of belonging in spaces that had previously felt out of reach. To center equity, we intentionally focused on removing barriers to participation that included creating welcoming, non-judgmental spaces, prioritizing clear and accessible communication, and making engagement flexible so families could participate in ways that work for their lives. We also paid attention to who was not in the room and made intentional outreach efforts to include underrepresented voices. This is very important because we have like parents of like extremely medically challenged children, and a lot of them are not in the rooms. So we have to take them into consideration. Those parents care. They want to be in the rooms, but sometimes they can't be in the rooms. They are exhausted. But guess what? We are their voices as well, and we try to keep them, at the forefront of our minds as well. Equity was also reinforced by elevating lived experience as essential expertise. Instead of assuming all families had the same access or understanding of the system, we centered the realities of those who faced the greatest challenges and ensured their perspectives shaped conversations and decisions. Finally, we invested in peer leadership so families who had navigated similar barriers could support and uplift others. That created a ripple effect where support and advocacy were not limited to formal systems, but were also carried through trusted relationships within the community.
I love that. Just being aware of the fact that the ones you probably need to ask are the ones who aren't in the room. What
Right.
was the barrier? What prevented them from being able to come in and share their voice and paying attention to that?
Yes.
Let's move into some lessons learned. Devin, what should communities avoid, or what would you do differently based on your experiences around parent engagement and all of the things?
I think communities should avoid assuming every parent experience is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, two people can experience the same thing. Well, encounter the same thing, but the experience be totally different. That's why perspective is important. Um, and I think another thing is listening to understand. A lot
Yeah.
of times on both sides, people may listen to respond,
Hmm.
and listening to respond, we don't push the conversation forward. You got to understand the point of view of the person, and then try to figure out the middle ground or how we proceed. I think that's critically important.
Mm,
And I think
Absolutely.
when you get to that point, it opens the doors for a lot of other things.
It does.
amen. Oh, sorry.
Because, oh, no, you're fine.
I thought I thought I was on mute.
But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that being transparent, I have a twin. I have a twin brother. We grew up in the same house, same mom, same dad, but our viewpoint of our childhood is totally different. Our viewpoint of our mom and our dad, totally different. We grew up in the same house, same resources, same parents, same all of the things, but how we both tell the story of our childhood is different. So, similar to what Devin is saying, that two people can encounter the same things and have two totally different outputs. If you ever get the opportunity to meet my brother, you would be like, how are y'all? How? Because our experience of the things that happen to us as children is totally different. So just being aware of and inviting more people to the space. And I think that similar to what Devin is saying is I feel like you should ask every parent. Stop trying to nitpick which parent you feel will push what you need forward and ask everyone if they want to be involved. So, Keisha, same questions. What should communities avoid, or what would you do differently based on your experience?
Um, all right. So, communities should definitely avoid, I think this is kind of like what you just said, treating parent engagement as a check box or one-time outreach effort. Families can quickly tell when their input is being collected without real intention to listen,
Hmm.
respond, or include them in meaningful decision making. Engagement becomes much more effective when families are viewed as long-term partners rather than occasional participants. I think another important lesson is to avoid creating leadership spaces that feel overly formal, inaccessible, or disconnected from the realities families are facing. Parents and caregivers are often balancing significant responsibilities, so flexibility, clear communication, and supportive environments matter. Communities should meet families where they are instead of expecting families to adapt entirely to systems. It's important not to it's also important not to underestimate the value of lived experience. Sometimes systems rely heavily on professional perspectives while overlooking the practical insight families bring. Some of the most effective solutions come directly from parents who are navigating services in real time. Based on my experience, communities should invest more in relationship building, peer support, and leadership development early on. Trust and engagement take time, and sustainable impact happens when families feel consistently heard, supported, and empowered to influence change, not just invited into conversations after decisions have already been made.
Thank you.
Hmm.
We're gonna pause there. Not just after things have been decided. In the beginning, co-create.
Yes.
Now, Devin, I have a two-part question. Please reflect on what you did to proactively or reactively to ensure parent voice influence real decisions, not just input. We've seen cases where the parent voice is more of a checklist, like Keisha said, or an afterthought. Systems are built or policies are made without genuine influence from parents. My second question is around how this effort changes outcomes for families or children. So to recap, share about parent voice influencing decisions and the changes as a result of this effort.
That's a good question. Um, so what I do is, man, I center everybody on the fact that we human,
Mhm.
right? Um, we human and we all have experiences. And looking at the lessons learned from said experiences. But I also have this method of like trying to get at the end game, like what do we want to win, and understanding that the motivations are different for everybody.
Mhm.
Like uh, some people want to keep their job, right? So hey, look, if you want to keep your job, you got to show your program working, so you can keep funding going in. So you gotta
Mhm.
you gotta vested the interest in making sure these parents do well. And if you're a parent, trying to figure out how to navigate the system, it's like, how do you not butt your head against the wall? Because you're gonna need some friends and some allies and some insight, right? And
Mhm.
I think centering rooms around that when you have a majority of well-intentioned people works very well. I can also say though, I've had a lot of sidebar or one-on-one conversations with parents to help develop their story because it,
Mhm.
it helps me. I got, a public speaking background. So a lot of times it's about how you tell your story because you could be, man, frustrated, angry, you could feel left out, and rightfully so. Rightfully
Mhm.
so. But you could communicate it in a way where people want to be hands off and become defensive, and then you can't have those conversations. So those are some of the things that I employ. And how did this effort change outcomes for families and children? Man, I've seen a lot of aha moments happen from, from the research space to the organizational programming space. Like some people like, why we can't get people to show up? Okay, let's take a look at why. What demographic you're trying to get to show up. How are you having conversations with them? Okay, let's facilitate that conversation. Then they had that conversation and it'd be the smallest things and they could make those tweaks, right? And changes occur after that. Even with some, let's say, even I seen in policy space, you got data, right? And in policy, man, you see reports and data all the time. But if you could wrap a story around the data that substantiates what the data has, but has blood and flesh behind it, an actual human, you might have a little more progress.
Thank you, Devin. Keisha, can you share about parent voice influencing decisions and the changes as a result of this effort?
Yes. Um, so yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Can you say the question again?
Yes. You want me to say the two part of it or just the recap of it?
The two part.
Yes, okay. Please reflect on what you did to proactively or reactively to ensure parent voice influence real decisions, not just input. We've seen cases where the parent voice is more of a checklist or afterthought, systems are built or policies are made without genuine influence from parents. The second question is around how this effort changes outcomes for families or children. So, as a
Gotcha.
recap, share about parent voice influencing decisions and the changes as a result of this effort.
Okay. So we made parent voice matter as far as ensuring parent voice influencing real decisions, not just input. We made parent voice matter by building clear pathways from sharing input to shaping outcomes. Instead of collecting feedback in isolation, we intentionally brought parent perspectives into planning conversations, advisory discussions, and ongoing program development so parents were part of the thinking, not just the commenting phase. One key approach was making sure parent leaders had consistent seats at decision-making tables. Families were not only invited to speak, but also included in spaces where priorities were set, challenges were analyzed, and next steps were determined. That shifted the role of parents from contributors to co-creators. We also strengthened accountability by circling back to families after decisions were made. When parents saw how their input influence changes or understood why certain decisions were made, it built transparency and reinforced that their voices were taken seriously. Another important practice was elevating lived experience as evidence. As I've said before numerous times, parents' insights were shared alongside system data and professional perspectives, helping ensure that decisions reflected both the numbers and the real life impact on families. Over time, this approach created a stronger feedback loop. Parents shared experiences, those experiences informed decisions, and families could see visible results. That cycle helped transform engagement into real influence and shared ownership of outcomes. And then the second part of your question is like, how did this effort change outcomes for families or children? Um, the effort improved outcomes primarily by strengthening how early families could connect to support and understand their options and stay engaged in services over time. When families are more informed and supported, early, children are more likely to receive timely early intervention services and more consistent follow through, which is critical during early development. Families also became more confident navigating the system, which reduced delays caused by confusion, uncertainty, or feeling overwhelmed. Instead of struggling alone, parents had clearer pathways, peer support, and stronger communication with providers and systems that help families stay engaged longer and advocate more effectively for their children's needs. Another important shift was improved continuity of support. As parent leaders helped bridge communication gaps between families and systems, more families were able to stay connected to services, resources, and community supports without dropping off due to frustration or isolation. For children, the most meaningful impact came from earlier identification of needs, more consistent service participation, and stronger family involvement in developmental support. When parents feel empowered and connected, children benefit from more stable, responsive, and informed caregiving environments, especially during the most critical early years of growth.
Thank you. Participants, please feel free to start dropping your questions in the chat. Keisha, in one sentence, what does what works look like when parent leadership is truly centered?
I think it looks like when parents are trusted as equal partners whose lived experience actively shapes decisions, improves systems, and strengthens outcomes for children and families through ongoing shared leadership.
Devin, same question in one sentence. What does what works look like when parent leadership is truly centered?
Mm. What does what works look like when family leadership is truly centered? What it looks like is family.
Mhm.
You got feedback loops, you got tough conversations, and at the end of the day, you have progress.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I knew this conversation was going to be powerful, but I'm still in awe of the two of you and your influence, leadership, and how you continue to create bright spots as an example of the value of parent leadership. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your experience. We've heard so many things today, and waiting to see if we do get a couple of chats. I'll highlight some of the themes that I got to see today. Trust building is important. Trust building is the key to engagement, key to keeping us all together, and all of the things. Authentic relationships and deeper engagement is important. So, if you want to have that deeper engagement, you have to have authentic and real relationships with parent leaders. Consistent communication and feedback loops. if you stay consistent with your communication and close a feedback loop. I can't tell you how many surveys I have completed and wanted to know what they did with it and why you keep asking me and why isn't anything changing. Please just tell me what you're doing with the information, even if it's as simple as we heard you guys all wanted, just like Devin said earlier, for the time to change. So we changed the time. As simple as cleaning up and clearing up that feedback will get me to want to do another survey for you so I do not feel like I'm wasting my
Wasting
time giving you my feedback. Creating welcoming, supporting, and accessible spaces where families feel heard and understood. That is so critical. How the communities can benefit deeply through empowerment and providing them with the tools that trickle down to everyone else benefiting. So, when we empower parent leaders, equip them with training and tools, we're able to then trickle it down to others in the communities.
Yes.
Parent voice matters. Never underestimate the value of lived experiences because that is your expertise.
Yes.
It's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the millions of letters that go behind your name. And I'm someone who now officially has a million letters that go behind my name. And I still, when I step into a room, still lead with the fact that I come with my parent hat first. I still lead with my parent expertise at the forefront because we wouldn't have them letters had that child of mine not been the one that sparked the influence that I have now.
Hmm.
In the chat, please put one strategy that you heard today that feels possible in the communities that you're in. In other words, what is one bright spot you want to build or replicate? And what would it take to do it? What mind shift or condition stood out as critical to success? And Keisha and Devin, if you want to answer those ones out loud as well, you can. What is one strategy you heard today that you feel is possible in your community? And in other words, what is one bright spot you want to build or replicate? And what would it take? My second question, what mind shift or condition stood out as critical to success?
I think for me, valuing the expertise,
Mhm,
valuing the expertise. And
mhm.
it made me think, let's say if somebody played pro sports for 3, 4, 10 years, right? And they came to a high school to coach football, you would value that expertise.
Yes.
If somebody, was a mechanic at a shop for 2 or 3 years, right? And you had a tinkering with your automobile, you would value what they telling you. So how can we continue to value what these parents say who've experienced the ins and out of their system?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Keisha?
I have to say the same thing. I really do, because when you value a parent's expertise, and parents come with a myriad of different experiences because of their children's experiences. So
Yeah.
when you value, and remember, if you have a child with autism, there's a spectrum. So if you value each individual parent's expertise,
Hmm.
think about that, right? And that's just autism.
Yeah.
So, and then think about the children who are the medically, what is the correct term? The medically
Fragile.
difficult, what's the word?
Fragile or difficult?
Fragile,
Fragile.
medically fragile. Yes, the medically fragile children. That's a spectrum, right? Because some children, they might have like cerebral palsy, or they might have another thing, or you know what I mean? Just that's a whole spectrum of different expertise. So yes, valuing parents' expertise is very important. If everyone did that, I think we would have it would be things would be stronger, right? You would have a stronger coalition um, of parents co-creating legislation, co-creating, making actually real change in like laws and making things actually work in the world.
Thank you. I'm trying to move the slides. Lainey is sharing, but we can't see them. Um, okay. Thank you both. I we heard very meaningful emerging things that included trust building, parent leadership and decision making, and conditions that sustain engagement. Thank you all for your engagement and interaction. In a second, I'll try to get the slide up on my end. We heard very powerful examples of what's possible when parent leadership is truly centered. They are not isolated stories, they are signals of what systems can become. As a reminder, success is replicable when we understand the conditions behind it. Parent leadership is not an add-on, it is a driver of better outcomes. Every community has the potential to create its own bright spots. On the screen, you'll see 3 calls to action. We want to ensure that these webinars are valuable and you are receiving the return on the investment of your time. We can only do so if we know the thoughts and opinions, so we invite you to scan the QR code and share your feedback. Second, maybe there was a question you didn't want to publicly ask, or perhaps you will still grapple with something later on that you want to discuss. So feel free to send me an email. Also, I've been hosting office hours for states who want to deepen their parent engagement. There is one coming up on Friday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come and get your questions answered and learn how we can support your parent engagement efforts, please register to join us. Maybe you have questions that you haven't fully formulated and want to join us to just listen in, and we welcome that as well. Please register and join us. For our final reflection, please share what is one action you will take in the next 30 days. Thank you so, so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the session as much as I did and have some practical tips you can take back to your teams. Thank you again to our wonderful parent experts and leaders, and enjoy the rest of your day. And remember to reach out to us to stay connected. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate you both. And go ahead and send me an email if you guys want to connect.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
Bye bye, y'all. Be great.
Thank you.